there's really nothing better than curling up under a blanket and reading a great book. And if you know a kid who loves to do just that, there's a new book club that can help them find some great reads. It's called Ainara's Book Club, and all the selections are recommended by the one and only Ainara Alleyne. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're so glad you're here too. This is such an important topic. You're encouraging kids and adults to read. I want to know first when you fell in love with reading.
Yeah. Well, I have, my parents have always helped build a love of reading in my house, and we're doing it with my little siblings right now. So growing up, I would do a lot of story times like with my dad before bedtime, and when I started to read, we would sit down at night and just take turns sort of reading chapters. And I think the Roald Dahl books really helped get me into reading because they were so much fun and just a space where me and my dad could share some time together reading a book. And then there was a time in my, early childhood where I just stopped reading because, it wasn't cool anymore.
Yeah.
It wasn't, there was other things that I could be doing.
Right.
So after, that sort of space, my dad got me the Percy Jackson books, which are, the novels. They're awesome. And they had so many things that I'm interested in. They had Greek mythology, action, fantasy, adventure. So once I started reading those, it really got my passion for reading back up, and it really got me into wanting to explore different books, especially in that world, and exploring different genres after that.
And so when you're reading these books too, and you start really getting into it, you begin to notice and want to increase the amount of diversity in the books that you read. Tell me about that, what that moment was like for you, and why you wanted to share this aspect of your story with so many other people.
Yeah, of course. Well, for me, whenever I read a book, I really like to put myself in that book. I love acting as well, so I always like finding a character in that book that I can play and acting out scenes and stuff like that. And when that character looks like me, it's so much easier. But I also find myself, when there is no characters that look like me or have the same race or ethnicity as me, that I just do it anyways. So I think finding books where you can have somebody that looks like you that you can relate to and become and really embody is so important. So that's really why I wanted to start sharing more books like that.
And I call you, reading about your story, looking through your Instagram, we're going to talk a little bit about that, but I call you a connector because I feel like you help to connect young people with storytellers and maybe authors and stories that maybe isn't within our grasp, maybe isn't in our library. So how can someone diversify their bookshelf?
Yeah, I love that term connector. I like that a lot because when I read these stories, these are stories, own voice stories, people who write from their own personal experiences, their own lives, the experiences that they've had, and I fall in love with them, and I want everyone to do it. And something that I talk about a lot is, stepping into another person's shoes or traveling through books. And I think that reading is such a great way to do that. So I think, just looking for those own voice stories, they're so much more accessible now, and they're, coming to the front lines a bit more, but we still just got to keep pushing to find them and really just go after them. Once you look, you will find them. They're always there.
And you're doing that for so many people on Instagram too. How did you create that community of yours on Instagram that, by the way, has grown immensely?
Yeah, well, I started during the pandemic. So I was in grade 5, grade 6. And at first it was just, a space for me to share with like my family friends and my family and, the few people that I knew. And I wasn't expecting it to grow as much as it did. I wasn't expecting, for teachers to actually see these books and add it to their classrooms. And
you're speaking with classrooms, you're visiting.
Yeah, I definitely have. It's been so cool, because I started in the pandemic, everything was online, interviewing authors online, just in my room filming videos, but it's come to the point where I actually get to go to schools and talk to kids and have back and forth conversations with them about the books that they're into, the themes that they're into, so that I can recommend books based on their interests. So it's just become amazing, and I actually get to do interviews like this.
Yes.
And for my TV show, we got to fly to meet the authors in person, which was a first for me, especially because I knew so many of the authors beforehand, interviewing them through Instagram Live, but actually be able to go there and talk to them face to face was an incredible experience.
You mentioned your TV show. Tell me a little bit about that. It's on TVO?
Yeah, it's on TVOKids. So I loved TVOKids growing up. I think that was just like the go-to place for Canadian kids. So to think that my TV show is on there there is amazing. So we worked with Turtlebox Productions to make Ainara's Bookshelf the TV show, where I do what I do on my Instagram. I read a book and I review it. I talk about, you know, the themes without any spoilers so that kids can actually enjoy the books after they read it. And then, yeah, we go to the author and we talk to them. It's usually either where they're from or a place that sort of connects with the book. For Janae Marks, her book is called Zoe Washington, and we got to actually go to a bakery and make cupcakes because the main character, she's a baker. So that was really fun. Yeah, and it's on TVOKids now, and it's accessible for everyone.
It's very cool because you're just creating a community of book lovers too, and it's nice to be able to not only read the book, but also to have the conversations with others around you too, which led me to the creation of your book club, which just launched yesterday. Tell us about that. You're busy.
Oh my goodness, yes. We launched the book club website yesterday. It was the same day as the Force of Reading Festival, and I just think that was the perfect place to do it because when I was there, it just shows that kids are still passionate about reading. It's like almost like a rock concert for books for kids. But yeah, we launched it. It's a companion website to Ainara's Bookshelf, and we've had 5 books from the TV show, and it's a learning resource tool that teachers can use in their classrooms or that students can do for their own, you know, independent reading, where you actually get to read these books and also have activities and different tools where you can go deeper into the themes and have creative activities and things that you can do with it.
You can bring the book club right at home with your family.
Yes, exactly. And I really love the idea that teachers can use these diverse books and already have the tools that they need to teach it in the classroom. When I was in grade 7, I changed our novel study book from The Outsiders to The First Rule of Punk because I wanted it to be a diverse book that the rest of my classmates could connect to. And when I had to, you know, push for the change, I had to come with all the curriculum already, so that because teachers are busy, they have a lot of things to do, and the Outsiders, you know, it's easy for them because they already have a bunch of resources. Exactly, it's accessible. They have the resources that they need to share it with the classroom. So now Ainara's Book Club, they have it all for them. You know, they just have to read the books and show it to the kids, and then they have creative activities that they can do. They have journaling activities that they can do, everything that they need to really go deeper into the themes of each book and still having them be diverse and fun.
Amazing. Where can people find you on Instagram?
Instagram, I'm Ainara's Bookshelf, and then for the book club, it's just ainarasbookclub.com.
Okay, you are amazing. I love your enthusiasm, and I love that you are a connector. Ainara, thank you so much. Make sure you guys follow her on Instagram and get involved with this book club. I might join. I know it's for kids, but I might join.
No, go for it.
Yeah. Thank you so much
Thank
for chatting with us. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much.